who they are and what they do? Well, they protest the funerals of soldiers killed in Iraq and Afghanistan. They claim God kills American soldiers because the United States is tolerant of homosexuality. But that's not all. They have a new target tonight, a murdered 9-year-old girl. The church says it plans to protest the funeral of 9-year-old Christina Taylor Greene, who was gunned down during Saturday's massacre in Arizona. State lawmakers in Arizona have taken emergency action today. What happened? Arizona State House Speaker Kirk joins us live. Good evening, sir, and tell me, what did you have to do? What did you have to do today to thwart this protest?
Well, today we took extraordinary measures to protect the family of Christina Taylor Greene, for example, from the vile and disgusting protesters that are planning to protest outside her funeral, claiming that she deserved to die. And so today we took the extraordinary measures of waiving rules in the legislature in a bipartisan way, Republicans and Democrats working together to pass legislation to require a buffer zone between the protesters and the family mourning the loss of their child.
You know, it is absolutely unthinkable that with all the grief that your state legislature is going through right now and your state, it's absolutely unthinkable that some group would do something or some organization to think that it would be okay or right or anything but immoral to come and protest a funeral of a 9-year-old girl who was murdered. Isn't it unthinkable? I mean, it's just, I mean, the fact that you have to do that is just terrible.
This has, of course, been a very difficult time for all Arizonans, but nothing compares to the difficulty and the grief that the families of these victims are experiencing as a result of this massacre. And any little bit that we can do to assist them and the city of Tucson in dealing with this, we are more than happy to do. We wish we could do more to alleviate their grief. And our prayers, of course, are always with them. And so what we did today is we, while respecting the First Amendment and the right to say vile and disgusting things, but we also have the constitutional ability to regulate time, manner, and place. And I can't think of any decent human being who would consider protesting in front of a 9-year-old's funeral who was slain by a vicious madman as anything less than appropriate. And so we did this very quickly today. It's unprecedented. We haven't ever done legislation this quickly in the state of Arizona, but it was necessary.
It's a misdemeanor, and obviously I'm appalled, and everybody's appalled at this group, though. I can't imagine anyone is not appalled at this group who wants to protest a funeral. Why didn't you make it a felony? Why don't you really hit them hard if they intend to come down there and protest it? Did you research and find that a felony was for some reason inappropriate? Because right now, tonight, a felony to me seems appropriate with a big fat fine on top of it, as big as you can make it.
It certainly does seem appropriate. What we've done is we researched what other states have done. Approximately 40 other states have created similar legislation. And we based this legislation based off of Ohio legislation that was upheld in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. We believe this bill is constitutional as it is written, and we believe it's necessary to protect these families.
Do you expect them to come down in light of the statute? Have you heard anything whether or not that this organization is going to come down and actually protest? I mean, now that they see your statute.
All indications are that they do plan to protest, that this will not stop them. But there's an interesting story, Greta, that's developed here. Republicans and Democrats and Tea Partiers in Tucson are coming together to provide sort of a human buffer to the protesters so that the families will not have to hear the disgusting cries of the protesters against this 9-year-old girl. And I think this is an example of the community coming together to grieve with these families and provide the families at least a few hours of peace while they bury their loved ones.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, sir, and I hope that this organization has a decency to stay home. Thank you, sir.